The digital world moves fast, but real growth comes from real conversations. This is eCoffee with Experts, where marketers and founders share what's actually working in SEO, AI, and digital growth. Grab your coffee and fuel your mind as we chat with top minds about their wins, struggles, and lessons you won't find in a blog post. Brought to you by Digital Web Solutions, we bring real talk to help you grow your business, one episode at a time. Let's get started.
Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to your show, Coffee with Experts. This is your host, Ranmay here. And today we have Ben, who's the president of Gotham Artists with us. Hey, Ben, how's it going?
Hey, Ranmay. Good to be here.
Lovely. Ben, before we move any forward, love to understand more about your journey thus far and also about your company, Gotham Artists. What do you guys do? What are your, core offerings? And we'll take it from there.
Sure, yeah. Thanks. Gotham Artists is a talent agency and speakers bureau. Been around for, 16, 17 years or so. I've been with the company for 13 years, so it's pretty early on. And we book events all over the world. Our role is a kind of a talent buyer, which basically means we pair keynote speakers, celebrities, entertainers, musicians, comedians, you name it, with events, working with event planners and event producers and production companies to make the magic happen from behind the scenes. And as a company, we probably book close to 1,000 events a year, mostly in North America, but they dot the globe. And I particularly myself run the entertainment division focused on producing concerts, large-scale entertainment, and celebrity appearances. So that's what the company does. I love my job, and I kind of fell into the booking world by accident. I think that was your next question of how did I get here? I am a musician. My mom's a piano teacher, so I've been playing piano since I was 3 years old.
Nice.
And that's my passion. It's what I love to do. I still do it. I play in bands. I put out records. It is my one true love. And when I was looking for work after college, after university, I wanted to be close to shows. That's kind of what I loved. That's what I did. And I quickly started working for a concert promoter in New York City, booking a lot of little local shows with local bands and stuff around Manhattan and Brooklyn. And then that kind of started to snowball into, jumping into like a proper talent agency world. And I worked in like the nightclub space for a while, booking reality show stars and rappers and stuff like that for performances and hosting appearances and whatnot. And then landed at Gotham in 2012 and I've never looked back. It's been a very happy, marriage for me. And, truly feel lucky to do this kind of work that I find really meaningful. I get to, work hard to inspire audiences and make memories. And I like the people that I do it with. My coworkers are truly friends to me. And I feel very lucky to have what I do.
Nice. Lovely. You said you were a performing musician at one point,
Still am. Yeah.
Right. Still you are, right? Lovely.
Yeah.
What is one lesson from those days, those early days when you were starting out that have actually led your team or approach, entertainment strategy today?
My days as a performer myself, like as an artist?
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Great question. So I've kind of built my business on this idea that it takes an artist to handle an artist. I feel like a lot of folks, I feel like a lot of people don't give enough credit to those who have kind of been on both sides of the microphone and how it can really lend, because all my job is communication, right? And getting people to do what you sort of need and want them to do and getting them excited to do it. And I feel like I have the ability to kind of, be the artist whisperer and really speak their language because it's a language I speak myself. And so that's one thing, but also as a musician playing, in bands for, a lot of my life, I'm very good at listening and improvising. And I find especially in a, business of people, really understanding what somebody needs and what they're trying to tell you is it seems obvious, but a lot of people don't listen. They just kind of wait to talk and they're trying to get their point across. I feel like because of my artistic background, I'm able to really, carefully and intently, presently listen to somebody, understand what they're trying to, get out of me or out of their event and help them get there because I have a sensitivity to kind of that because of, art and playing music. There's a lot of crossover there for me.
Lovely. And in talking about your business, Gotham Artists, what were some of the needle moving strategies you implemented to scale the entertainment vertical at Gotham Artists?
Needle moving strategies, just like from like for growth or just kind of, securing more
Yeah.
clients and like more deals or something?
Yeah, I mean, I would ideally say from a growth and,
Yeah.
scaling the business perspective. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm all about grow slow. Don't go too fast.
I
I've been
agree.
doing this for I've been doing this for 13 years. It's just like watering a garden. It's like you got to tend it a little bit every day. And if you try to rush things, if you try to make fast food, it's not going to taste as good and it's not as good for you. And it doesn't last as long. So I know a lot of people are kind of really intent on growing quickly, scaling quickly, and want to, max out profit in the shortest amount of time possible. I'm all about get rich slow. That's really my belief. And I think if you give a lot of care to every little step along the way, it has a deeper, lasting impact that you'll be able to reap for years and years, as opposed to trying to find like a trick to speed it up. Get rich slow is kind of my mantra. I'm going to be doing this for my whole life. I hope to have a long life, knock on wood. I think I'm all about, tender loving care every step of the way with your clients and with your customers. And they're going to feel that and they'll stick with you. And then also, frankly, they'll do the scaling for you by referring business to you. That's where I think it kind of comes, is like, if you just worry about the individual, they'll feel that and they'll want to send other people your way. And then the scaling happens because you even weren't focused on scaling. You were focused on, keeping somebody with you on a very individual basis.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Can't agree more. Talking about the behind the scenes strategies,
Yeah.
like most event planners or marketers don't see, but should absolutely know before getting into this business.
Behind the scenes strategies. I think I'd say, for me, it's a mix of creativity and sort of what I like to call operational excellence. So, and these two things kind of happening in harmony together are, I think, what, my secret sauce really is. And the creativity comes in. This can apply to any business, truly, but especially in live events, things are going to go wrong. They're not going to go according to plan. Plan for it to go wrong. It's Murphy's Law, right? So I think, making a great plan and trying to stick to it is a good plan, but knowing and being very, ready to adapt to something. Somebody is late. Someone gets sick. Someone's in a bad mood and they don't feel like doing something anymore. A lot of these big time artists can be, sometimes they're temperamental. It's something that I kind of deal with very often. There's a lot of big personalities, which is why we want them and why we like them. They're interesting, but, being sort of ready to come up with a creative but simple solution to a complex problem. That's, I think, a skill that I've honed, which kind of also relates back to the listening and improvisation comment that I get from my artistic background. I think keeping that adaptability is absolutely crucial. And then the other side of this coin is operational excellence, of really delivering on every little tiny point, every little tiny deliverable. Putting on a good event is like launching a rocket to the moon. One little piece goes wrong and it seems like a small thing, but it can snowball into a much bigger problem. And I think it's indicative of, your kind of ability to produce something effectively if you don't miss any of the little tiny, tiny steps that get you there. It's like everyone talks about the, famous story of bands' writers and all this crazy stuff that's on there. And people often cite the brown M&Ms, right? It's like, if, people aren't familiar with this, it's some band. It was actually Van Halen, I think, said you have to have only brown M&Ms in our dressing room. Very important to only have the brown M&Ms. And people are like, oh, wow, what a diva. Right? Like, they're so particular. It's like, that wasn't why they did it. They did it because that's a way for them to check if you read the whole writer. And it's a safety concern because with all this huge amounts of gear they're bringing in, for example, if your stage isn't reinforced properly, with all of the weight of all this stuff they're going to put on top of it, they had instances where a stage collapsed underneath them. And you can die, you get injured if you're not careful about doing things, cleanly and the operational excellence. And the brown M&Ms was a test to see if you actually, it's like, well, if there's not brown M&Ms in there, you didn't read that part. What else didn't you read? Did you do this and this and this and this? That's far more important. That's why they actually did that. So I think those two things of being meticulously executing every little tiny step and then being ready to change the plan if, we all make mistakes, we're human, someone forgets something, okay, being ready to adapt to that. And also the curveballs that any artist or manager might throw you along the way.
Absolutely, absolutely. Great insights there, Brent. Thank you
Thanks.
so much for
Yeah,
taking
no,
out time to do this with
of
us.
course.
Really, really
Yeah,
appreciate it, man.
no,
Cheers.
thank you. Cheers. Yeah, thank you.